got to try about 15 different intros this time.
No, I'm not going to do that.
Oh, I've got a story for you as well.
Let's
A real life story.
Right.
Are going to stay in a sort of
Do you want to bleep out her name, or do you want to keep it in?
Oh, aye. I'd leave it. I'll start again, right? Me and my girlfriend are going to stay in a cabin thing. We've got it booked for November. We'll need to wait and see if rules change in about a couple of weeks' time or sometime soon. But her dad has actually stayed in the exact same like cottage thing. It's got a hot tub and stuff. He stayed in it a few years back, and he was telling us the other day that when he stayed in it, he doesn't believe in ghosts, but it was snowy, it was winter time when he stayed there, and he was standing washing dishes in the kitchen, and he was looking outside, and it was like snowing and stuff, and he says that he saw a woman in white, basically just a woman, I don't know if she had a shroud or something, just all white from head to toe, walking across the back garden when he was doing the dishes. And he never knew anything about the area or anything like that, and he said that one of the guys who was there for a stag do, one of the guys he was with, then googled it and googled the area, ghost sightings in the area, and there is a like white woman or lady in white as like the local ghost story.
Was it not maybe just a snowman falling over?
Well, he said it looked like somebody walking, and he says he doesn't believe in ghosts, and I said, so do you believe in
Is it open land? Is it open area? So folk know just like walk past it to get
no,
to
it was
where
like
they're going?
countryside, it was in the garden, like countryside, and it was like a back
Like a
garden.
wedding dress?
He never said, he just said a lady in white, all dressed in white, like a white dress. But then I said, so you believe in ghosts now then? And he says no. I says, so it wasn't a ghost then? He says, it was the lady in white, it was a ghost. So this was a bit of a conundrum, because I was saying, so you believe in ghosts, but you've not seen a ghost, but you'd said it's a ghost, so... But, my girlfriend was terrified, but I can't wait.
Aye. I can't wait for you to go now.
To find out if I see
that one the other day.
the lady in white in the back garden.
To find out what time it was and like that. And like shit like that. That'd be cool, man, if you see it. Phone me straight away.
Keep my eyes out in November.
Phone me right away.
See if I see
Johnny, I've seen a fucking ghost.
See if I see the lady in white.
That's class, man.
So
where is it?
I can't remember because she booked it.
I think it's like up north Scotland.
Up north a bit further up. I don't think it's really high up, but it's a wee bit of a trip. So I'll keep an eye out, see if I see any ghosties.
That's cool, man. So I'm still yet to see one. I've had experiences. We've had experiences together as well, like in here and stuff. Did you see my hang last week? The PlayStation.
You've had it.
I was shiting myself, man.
Well, tell
like,
them what happened with your PlayStation case. Anybody didn't see what happened.
I've seen no seen. I was streaming the other day on Twitch, just playing a horror game. Everything was cool. I wasn't that scared at the time. I wasn't too feared, and I started hearing like a beating noise, and like even in the game, the character was like, "What's that noise? Where's it coming from?" So I thought it was part of the game, but I was like, "Nah, this is weird. I can hear something." So like, I took my headphones out, and I'm like, I just heard this beep, like beep beep beep, like it was coming in threes. I just kept beep beep beep, and it would be a wee gap, beep beep beep. I'm like, what the fuck? I thought it was maybe like the fridge or the dryer, like or something going on. It's like, nah, this is weird, man. So I like started like hunting about, and it was like my PlayStation that's like underneath the PC, and like the closer that I was getting to it, the faster the bleeding was getting, and as soon as I put my hand on like the case, it just like stopped, and it's never done it again since. But the thing was, it wasn't powered on. I was playing the PC. I don't have the PlayStation. The PlayStation's just a fucking just for show, basically. I don't ever use it.
So it wasn't even plugged. Was it plugged in?
It was plugged in, but it wasn't plugged on.
You weren't using
and
it.
There wasn't any discs or nothing in it.
My PlayStation has never made
weird, man.
A rotation of 3 beeps for that length of time, so I don't know what was happening there.
Is it kind of like you put your finger on the like eject or power? I think it does it.
You hold it for a while and then it beep beep and then it turns off. I've done that before. I do that to turn it off.
But it just kept on happening.
Kept going
beep, 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 beep.
3 beeps at a time because you showed me the clip. It was
just
weird,
man. Just weird.
So cabin confirmed. Spooky and haunted.
The other time it happened here was when we were here, like watching a film or something, or playing a game.
It was
the guitar.
I think it was a horror film, or it was
like we were just sitting here watching the film one time, and I used to have my guitars like behind here, behind the couch, and like one of the guitars just like the strings just strummed themselves, and you thought it was me, didn't you?
I stood up and I was like, "You're at it. How have you done that? Have you set that up so your guitar
just, like,
strums?"
sitting here.
And the two of us were sitting here. There was nobody else in here, and your guitar was behind there and it strummed. And we checked, and I had a look, and the couch wasn't touching the guitar. The guitar was leaning against the wall behind us. It was by itself, and the guitar a full strum. It was like 2 or 3 strings or something. Half a strum. There was no wind getting in. We were trying to figure it out and figure what was happening, but spooky.
Stuff doesn't happen that often to me. Like,
no, that's the
like that's been the only times that something.
The guitar, and we've slightly mentioned it, but we're saving the stories for the sleep paralysis episode. But I've seen stuff in sleep paralysis.
I've not really had any other like spooky experiences that I couldn't explain. You know what I mean?
Oh, well, I'll let you know if I see the lady in white. And
hopefully
November time.
Cool. Anyway, before we get started, I wanted to say the Babadook, right?
Was this because we never mentioned it the last time?
No. We could have. How shite it is, right? You kind of like a few weeks ago I tried to watch it again because we were here to watch that whatever it was we watched. Babadook. We tried to watch something on Netflix, and I seen the Babadook was on it, and I was like, I've not watched this since it came out when it was released. It was fucking shite. I didn't like it. The wee guy, like the kid in it, I fucking hated him. So annoying, and I've never watched it again since. But I've tried to watch it maybe 3 or 4 times, and every time I try to watch it, I'm like, nah, I can't do it. It's fucking trash.
It's terrible.
And
agree.
So I just left it after you went away home. I watched it for 10 minutes, and then I turned it off. I was like, nah, fuck this. And like last week, or maybe no a week, like 5 days ago or something, I was in the Haunted House Discord, and people were in it talking about horror films.
Right.
And like, watch the Babadook, it's really scary, watch the Babadook. And I was like, I can't believe this. I can't believe they're saying this is really scary and all like that. And it wasn't just one person, there was like 3 or 4 of them. And I was just like, I'm not even saying nothing.
The reviews online for it are really good as well, and I don't understand it.
I don't get it, right? So anyway, I was like, nah, fuck this. 2 days ago, I was making my dinner, and I was like, fuck it, I'm going to put the telly on, see what's on telly, because usually I just go and watch YouTube, or I watch Twitch.
Yeah.
But I decided to put the TV on. So I was scrolling through the channels, and the Babadook was coming on. So I was like, you know what, fuck it, I'm doing this shit. I'm going to fucking watch it again, watch the full thing, have an open mind about it. I'm not going to get annoyed at the wee kid. He's a wee cunt. Might have to bleep that out. But
C-bomb.
See
you next Tuesday.
But I'm going to watch it. I watched it all. So shite. So shite.
I thought the way this was going was your opinion had totally changed, and I was going to have to disown you and just leave.
It's even more shite now that I've watched it again. And people have been. It's just the bad guy, like the Babadook. He looks like the fucking guy for the Mighty Bush.
With the eye,
the
Polemint on an eye.
Polemint for eyes. Like, are you serious? That's not scary. And you see him like twice maybe.
Oh, Greg's scarier.
Aye, fuck. Hey, that's good.
I got a mangina.
Oh, like, okay, I was thinking about fucking the cunt for Family Guy.
No. No. Hello. What's the wee boy called? What's the one with the blonde
Chris.
hair? Hey Chris.
Shh. That's what you're talking about.
It's your man. Him.
Aye. No, but honestly, it's the Mighty Bush guy. It's the bad guy for the Mighty Bush.
They pull mints for eyes and
Pull mints for eyes. And then it's like,
minty vision.
there was only one good bit in it, and it was like the mum starts to go crazy and all that because her son's gone seen the Babadook, all this shit's going on. And she comes into their kitchen, it's a mess, there's like fucking dishes, there's all this stuff,
Mm-hmm.
and then she starts seeing cockroaches on the ground. So she's like, where the fuck's these cockroaches come from? Pulls the fridge back, and there's like a hole in the wall and all the cockroaches are coming out it.
Right.
So she starts tidying up, she's bleaching the flares and doing all this shit for hours, and the kids, what's the child protection services or whatever, comes round to the house,
Mm-hmm.
and she's like, "I come on, I know you just caught me in the middle of cleaning up. There's a hole behind the fridge and the cockroaches are coming out it," and she points to it and it's like there's nothing there. It's just the was fine.
Right.
So it was like, that was good because like I wasn't expecting that. I thought there was actually like hole,
Mm-hmm.
but then you start to realise, alright, she is going fucking batshit crazy. And she does it. She's like, she's later on, she's driving and she sees cockroaches on her legs and all that, and you're like, it's no real, but she still freaks out and
Mm-hmm.
fucking crashes the motor. But it was like, so I was watching and I was like, right, maybe it'll pick up a bit, maybe it'll get scary or something, maybe I've just forgot parts here. And then at the end it's like, they tame it sort of thing, it goes down into their basement and they just keep it in their basement. She feeds it worms. Like, her wee kid goes out to the garden and just picks worms out the garden, and then she puts them into like a bowl and takes them down and feeds the Babadook worms in her basement. It's like, what the fuck?
Aye, it was weird.
It's shite.
I didn't like it, and I wouldn't put myself through that again.
Please, if you're trying to recommend films, horror films to people, don't tell them to watch Babadook. Don't tell them it's scary.
There's much better films.
There's
to
much
watch.
better things. Like,
In our opinion, because people can like what they like, but
aye, people can like what they like, but if you like
we're
that,
in
then you're
agreement.
fucking, you're not my pal anymore. You're not my friend anymore, right?
Cancelled, deleted,
Oh, I was so annoyed. I can't believe all these people.
and that was a new section called Jimmy's Rant.
I've not had a good rant in ages. I feel so good.
You used to have Beans, some of your Beans on your channel. You could get them to have a rant about something.
I was annoyed at the time.
Do you feel better after getting
I feel
that?
better
Feel
after
better
getting
getting
that.
that off your chest?
But I'm just waiting for the next thing to happen now. Always waiting for the next thing to piss me off so I could start a new rant.
Next time on Jimmy's Rant.
But anyway, hello, welcome back again to the Wee Bit Feart Podcast. I'm joined today by my good friend again, Ryan. How you doing?
Or Mr. Mearns as I'm known at work.
Mr. Mearns.
But Ryan's fine, we're all friends here.
So this is episode 2 of the podcast. Second episode already.
We've not been taken off the air yet.
Nah, not cancelled yet, so that's a good sign. And this episode is all about horror games. So we've made like this really big list of some of the best, worst and scariest horror games for the past 10 years.
Or so.
I didn't even need it to be the past 10 years. Like the last time we did with films, it just happened to be that there wasn't much good games before 2010, apart from one that we found, or maybe a couple.
Mm-hmm.
But, so we've got a big list of games, and what we'll do is we'll just kind of list them off to start with, and then we're going to jump into categories. So, as I said, we'll do the worst games, scariest games, and our favourite games, the best games.
Mm-hmm. And we're going to do one each in those categories. So
We'll pick one for our favourite for each of the categories.
but then, like
yeah.
last time, honourable mentions and
Some
we'll
honourable mentions, yeah.
I'll just
Some of them are like, some of the games can you be in both. Like I've got one that's the scariest and also possibly the best as well. So, we'll just discuss all of them. We'll also show you the trailers for the best ones, like our picks. We'll not show you all the trailers because We'd be here for fucking hours trying to show you them all.
I know, people have got places to be, things to do.
Also wearing my t-shirt here. I'm not going to say what it is.
Spoilers, there's one of the categories.
But if you know what that is, or what that's for, that is one of my picks for this episode. I'll reveal it later on because it says it on the back what it is.
And wrong side. And I've got a rose on here, and that has got nothing to do with anything. But for my rosy cheeks now, this is young. So start us off, what is the list of games then? Have we got to go through and just read off? These are mostly the ones that me and you have played together.
Aye. All these ones on the list I've played.
And most of them I've played.
Most of them you've played as well.
But there's some that you've streamed that I haven't played.
You go and you read them out because I'm fucking terrible at reading and speaking at the same time.
Right, so the list of games that we've played, and you've played a couple of them on your stream. Yep. So these are the ones that we like and we're going to talk about and the ones we remember. Resident Evil 4 for 2005, but we played it later than that. I'll just keep going. Amnesia, Slender the 8 Pages, Outlast, The Evil Within, Alien Isolation, Until Dawn, Emily Wants to Play, Layers of Fear, Resident Evil 7, Outlast 2, The Evil Within 2, Visage, Infliction, The Dark Occult, The Dark Pictures Man of Medan, Resident Evil 2, Blair Witch, Layers of Fear 2, The Beast Inside, Escape the Ayawaki, and Resident Evil 3, that was it this year as well. We've played that as well. So that's all the ones that we've been thinking about.
That's all the kind of the big hitters. Like, there is kind of other wee maybe indie games or games that could be described as horror or have like horror elements to it, but
because there's other ones like The Walking Dead, Telltale, I like them, they've got zombies in them and stuff, but they're not necessarily scary, jump scary or horror.
The Last of Us.
Yeah, The Last of Us, I loved The Last of Us and The Last of Us 2 as well, the first one more than the second one.
I never ever played them, but I kind of watched you playing a wee bit of some of them.
But it's a story game, and there's certain sections that are quite scary, and then there's big sections where it's not scary, so it's a bit of both. But yeah, that's the list of nominees. If we were at the Oscars, that would be the nominees list. So we're going to split into three categories: scariest, favourite, and worst horror game. Obviously, again, it's all opinion based, so you might totally disagree with what we're saying, you might totally hate whatever we say, or we might seem like we're just going with the mainstream horror games or the mainstream things, sort of like last time, but that's the ones we've played and that's the ones we like. So
there was kind of ones that when I was like writing this list out, I was struggling when I wanted to put it into certain categories. I know, because like some of them, they were quite shite, but they were still worth a playthrough. Do you know what I mean? So like, I'll probably, like, when we talk about the worst ones, if they're really bad, I'll say just avoid it. But if they are kind of worth a playthrough, then maybe just give it a try, because you might like it. I know some people that I talk to, they like to get the games, but I didn't really like them. So this is our personal opinions. Like, we are no experts or
game
reviewers
critics
or critics or nothing, but we came what we're talking about. So just listen to us, right?
Take a telling.
Take a telling, right? But I want to start with the worst ones then.
We'll go get the bad out of the way.
Get the bad, get scariest.
Finish on a high.
Finish on a high. So we can start off with the worst ones. And we've got a list of 4 games here that's on the worst ones, with 2 also possible ones that can be in the list they should be in this list, right? But instead of putting them on the worst list, I put them on meh. It was fine, but really they're worst, right? So the list of games that we have
But I've got one I'm adding in at the
Aye.
last minute because I want to change my mind a bit here. But
Last
one that
minute
you've
changes.
got-
This is the life, man. This is what it means to be fucking podcasters. You think of something for a week, 2 weeks solid, and then the day recording,
I just throw a curveball in there.
throw a curveball. So what we've got is Emily Wants to Play, Outlast 2, Escape the Ayawaki, Blair Witch, The Evil Within 2, and Layers of Fear 2, which I shouldn't be putting that in there. I shouldn't. I feel bad putting it in
That's
there.
the May. That's the May
Because
one.
that was a May one because it was like I actually did enjoy that. Just wasn't as good as the first one, so it's not necessarily the worst. It's not the best. It's not the scariest.
Mm-hmm. And I'm
Give it a try. That's one I just give it a try because it is actually alright,
Mhm.
but it's no worth putting on the best list.
And
as well.
originally I was going to pick Emily Wants to Play as my one. I was going to say I didn't like it, and that was maybe my worst. But I'm going to change my mind and throw the curveball in here, and I'll go especially the original one, but I'll go Five Nights at Freddy's because I know that is people love that on the
It's
internet.
very popular.
It's very popular on YouTube, Twitch, stuff like that. It's really good to watch somebody playing, especially if it's the first time. But that's my problem with it is once you've played it the first time
Mm-hmm.
and you get you maybe play it for half an hour, and you get a couple of the jump scares, you know how they happen, what they look like, you get used to the noises and stuff, and as you're improving at the game, it's sort of, for anybody that hasn't played it, Five Nights at Freddy's, you work in in the first one it's like a cafe, a restaurant, like a kids Chuck E. Cheese in America type thing, and it's animatronic animals, or robot animals that were the servers, but you're looking after the place at night.
Mm-hmm.
So you have to like manage the different cameras in the place, and you're the security. You have to look after everything in the place. But the animatronics come to life, and they'll come and try and chase you, and you have to shut the doors to keep them away from you, and try and keep your eyes on them. If you keep your eyes on them, they won't come and chase you. And it's just about managing different things. So it's like a management game, which isn't my thing to start with. And then the jump scares get you the first couple of times, and then they just lose their effectiveness pretty quickly. So I will say that my that is my pick, but I know that as they got to the second, the third, the fourth, I think there's like 6 of them now. They did slowly get a bit better, but the original two, really, once you've seen a couple of jump scares, it just loses its appeal for me.
Like it's the same with me. Like I've never watched anybody complete it
Mm-hmm.
or play like through any of them. I've seen wee bits and bobs. Like I've jumped into people's streams and I've seen it, and I've kind of watched some YouTube videos. But to me, it was just, I don't know. I just wasn't. I wouldn't say that was a horror game at all. Like it just didn't. There was nothing to it. You're sitting there clicking buttons. Look left, right. Look left, right. Lights on, lights off. Shut door, open door.
I know that is the thing that doesn't get me. But I know there's a lot of kids like it as well. Like
I would say, maybe if you're younger,
it'd
like
be
if you're
scarier.
fucking tween
Mm-hmm.
age, then that could be quite scary. Because you're maybe not ready for like games like Resident Evil, where it's like you're seeing body parts and blood and gore.
Mm-hmm.
But for that kind of thing, that would maybe scare you a wee bit. Aye.
Yeah.
But for guys in their fucking late 20s, that's no.
not
for us.
our thing. So that was mine.
The new one's coming out soon, though.
Five Nights at Freddy's, what, 6, 7?
I don't know. It was
17?
during that PlayStation 5 reveal. They showed it. Did you miss that bit? It was just like they pan through like I don't know if it was like a mall or something, and it comes out and it's like a big massive golden statue of Freddy.
I think I did see. I
It's
did
just
see that, but I don't know if it's a remake or it's maybe another one or something. But
I'll check it out, but I'm not expecting.
so, and we'll roll in clips and trailers for some of these things as we go along as well. So to give people
I
an
think
idea.
everybody knows it.
Knows what that one is,
but it's just fucking. I think it's just no.
It's not my type of game. It's not yours
my
either.
cup of tea. It's not for me either.
So if you had to pick something for that list or something you can think of, what would you say is your worst, or it's not scary, or you just don't like it?
For my worst one, And so you don't know about this game. You've not seen me play this or why it, the reason for it, why I hate it.
Did you stream
And
it?
I streamed it for maybe
Right.
half an hour, right? So it's escaped the Ayahuasca.
What is reality? The very definition of the word lacks the depth, the meaning that humanity craves. We think we know what reality is, but don't be mistaken. How foolish we actually are, that we believe we can comprehend this world with just our 5 feeble senses. What would you think if I told you that there are things beyond time itself, things beyond reality? What is reality?
And I've now watched the trailer because you showed me it. We've now
Aye.
watched the trailer, and
So
I think from the trailer it looks okay.
It looks
The
good.
bad guys look a bit funky. They sort of run about quite quick and they look a bit weird. But apart from that, I would say it looks fine. So
it
what,
is. It looks great. When
Right.
I seen that trailer, I even watched gameplay of it, and I watched it. I was like, "Oh, this looks scary." Like I watched somebody sent me like a kind of jump scare compilation thing, and this game was in it. So I was
Mhm.
like, "Oh shit! Right, I'm getting this." So the kind of bad guys in it, whatever. It's just one, right? It's just because
Right.
you see it at different kind of shadows and stuff. It looks different, right?
right?
There's one guy. Now, the first thing that's wrong with it is the bad guy or like the enemy character is like it's blind, and it can hear you. That's how it finds you. So whenever you're like running around, opening doors, activating anything, it'll start coming for you, right?
So it's like Quiet Place style monster,
Right, aye.
right?
But when it comes for you, all you have to do to stop it is crouch. See the second you crouch, it loses you, and it just walks away. So you can literally wait, make a noise, stand still, wait for it to come all the way up to your face, press the crouch button, and then it just stops and it walks away. So it's like, I don't like that. I like having to run like fuck, having to hide somewhere, having to be like, oh, what am I going to do? Run up the vent,
Panic.
go up a ladder, run away, hide behind the box. You can literally just wait till it gets close to you, and then just press crouch, and then that's it. It's away. So I didn't really like that. That was for me. It was like once that was over, once I found that out,
You
I was like,
realised
that's not
that?
scary anymore.
Once you realised the invisibility cloak button,
Aye.
then that was you.
It was kind of, I don't know if it's a glitch, or if, but it is kind of, it seems like a bit of an exploit. Like you're basically invulnerable then, because all you need to do is press the button and he's away.
Right,
Right. So that was the first thing that kind of annoyed me about it.
right.
Second thing is, so when you see him up close, because you can crouch and kind of just look at him, I was like, he looks like this character looks familiar, right? Now I'm just going to show you a picture of it, and I'll show you'll be able to see this picture as well.
Is it-
Right.
So is it the fact that it looks like MJ?
Right. So you see the jacket in that, right?
Mm-hmm.
Right. So I was like, this looks I recognise this. Like this kind of looks like, it looks kind of fucked up, his face and that,
Uh-huh.
but it looks weird. The jacket that it's wearing, I was like, that looks like Michael Jackson's jacket, right? Like the one that he wears in the movie Thriller or something. I can't mind.
I think
It's
so.
a kind of like red thing that's got the gold wee straps on it, right? So I was like, that's kind of weird. He's got like long black hair, big eyes and stuff as well. I'm like, right, fair enough. That's just a weird choice of design. Fair enough.
Coincidence, right?
So I'm running about trying to do the thing, try to find keys or whatever it is we're doing, and every so often I'm hearing hee hee, right?
No, I was just
Right.
about to say that. Please don't tell me it does the hee hee.
I swear, right? So I hear this and I'm like, it is like, oh, like it just keeps doing Michael Jackson noises. I'm like, no. It's somebody taking the piss. I thought it was maybe one of the things on my channel where people could make noises or something,
Alright, somebody
or
pressing
something
sound
just
alerts.
happening in my game. I was like, this is weird, man. But every time when you get close, I would do the hide thing. He would start walking away and he'd make the noises, and I was like,
Did he moonwalk
you're
away?
joking? No. That would be good if he did. But I was like, nah, this can't be happening. I'm not hearing Michael Jackson noises right now in this horror game, right? And so at one point, Brandon was watching me playing this, right? Because it was him that told me to play this. He was the one
Right.
that sent me the video and all that, right?
Right.
And he's like, do you get it yet? I'm like, what do you mean? He's like, escape the Ayuwoki. And I'm like, what do you mean?
Oh!
What
I
do
just
you
got
mean?
that.
What is it?
Are you okay? Are you okay, Annie?
Annie, you okay? That's what it is.
So it's
I was like,
actually...
you're fucking, are you being serious? I was like, no. I was like, aye, good one. Running. And he's like, no, this is a Michael Jackson game. I was like, I can't believe you made me fucking buy this. Honestly, I played it for about 20 minutes, turned it off, uninstalled it, never looked at it again.
So I thought you were making the likeness there that it was going to be like Michael Jackson. I didn't think it was actually based on Michael Jackson.
It's Michael Jackson chasing you about. And it's so bad.
Right.
And you just hear the hee hee every so often.
That'll just make you laugh more than anything. So I
Aye, that's
understand.
the thing, because I was like, I can't believe that. It's like, it's not scary anymore. I'm being chased. Well, being chased with Michael Jackson could be considered scary.
Depends what side of the fence you're on with that
But
discussion.
for me, like, it's a horror game. You can't hear Michael Jackson in it making the fucking Michael Jackson noises and all of that. Know what I mean? So that killed it for me. And when I heard it, it's not Ayuwoki, which I thought was a kind of like
A demon
Japanese,
name or
Asian sort of like Asian bad spirit thing. But no, it's Ayuwoki. I fucking couldn't believe
Right,
it, man.
I
So that's my
understand.
worst game. Fucking can't believe it, man.
I understand why the Michael Jackson game is your worst one. Then that
Unbelievable.
sounds terrible.
Aye, but other than that, like, the rest of the games on the list, Emily wants to play. Like, we played that together, didn't we?
Mm-hmm.
We didn't complete
Played it
it
the first time, and then you've streamed it since as
I
well.
streamed it, and it's good. It is good, kind of, to start with, because
Mhm.
you're like, oh, what's going on? You're trying to figure it out, but once you figure it out and you know how to do it, it's not scary anymore.
Mm-hmm.
Plus, it's kind of up to random chance, because I was saying to you, I nearly completed this. I was on like the last part of it, like the last hour,
Mm-hmm.
and what I found is, to start with, one of the characters in it will chase you. So you'll either get chased with a wee girl, Emily,
Mm-hmm.
a clown,
Oh.
like a mad laughing clown thing, a wee Chucky doll, which is like an actual wee Chucky
Mhm.
character that runs after you.
Mm-hmm.
And then is there something else? Is it just the three?
Clown, the wee doll thing. Is the wee doll not got like a top hat or a hat on or a suit on or something?
Oh, aye, that's another one then. There's four. There's a wee guy that's got.
The clown, the wee
Suit
Chucky
or
doll
something.
thing, a wee guy with a suit or something, like a ventriloquist dummy or
Mhm.
something, and then Emily.
Aye.
But it pretty much it doesn't tell you really how to do it. It's supposed to be
Aye,
like
it
a
doesn't
puzzle
tell
thing,
you.
but it's really, you die loads before you realise anything that you can actually do. You have to try and figure it out. And when I played it, I had to end up googling it, and I hate having to Google stuff when I get stuck in games because I love being able to solve puzzles, but they just didn't give you enough information.
Aye,
I would
it's like,
say.
it's like one of them you're not allowed to look at them. One of them you're not allowed to move when you hear them. One of them you have to run away from, and then another one is just it'll just keep on chasing you until it disappears or you go through a different room. But as it gets on to the later game, multiple of the characters will start hanging you. So if you get hit with one that you can't move and one that is also chasing you, that's you, it's game over, because there's nothing you can do there. So it's down to luck as well, it's down to the random. So you have to keep playing it over and over again until you get the two that will work together.
I know, I didn't like
just
that.
gets annoying.
Even I was watching you stream it, and then you eventually got to a point where like, I've had enough. I was like, just play something else. So you just get to a point where it's too much. So that's the worst ones. Is there anything else you wanted to mention at worst, or are we going to move on?
Just like a couple of them that are in the worst. They are Outlast 2 and The Evil Within 2. They're just worse because they weren't as good as the first ones. But we'll talk about the first ones shortly. So
because we're like, they're in the better category.
But so next up.
So we'll go for scariest. And then we're talking about, I've got a couple on the scary list, but a lot of these obviously are horror films. They're all scary at certain points, and there'll be certain parts of games that are scary. Yep. But it's the whole experience, and also it comes down to when you were playing it personally. I would say how you were feeling when you were playing it, or what age you were, or what you were thinking at the time, or if you had headphones in and you were playing it with somebody or by yourself or anything like that. So
you have to play with headphones in, man.
I know. So scariest, and we've got a couple on the list, but the one that I told me to put in the list for me was Slender, the 8 pages. So Slenderman, the original Slenderman, and I picked that because I just remember back when somebody told me to play this, and they told me to play it with headphones and try it by myself, and pretty much anybody that's not played it, it's you're in a forest and there's,
we should say there has been like 2 or 3 Slenderman games. We are talking about the very original one that was just, you went onto a dodgy website and you downloaded it onto your computer, and it was just this wee mad indie game thing. It wasn't on Steam or any PlayStation or nothing like that. There is ones out there now where it's Slender the Arrival is the kind of latest one, I believe, but we are talking about the original one
way back, which roll that clip because here it's here. And that's the trailer for Slender. So you were in a forest, pretty much you could only move forward, back, left, right and click, and you had to collect, there was 8 pictures or pages, 8 like bits of paper stuck to trees or on the backs of trucks, or inside there's a couple of buildings on the map as well. So it was 8 pages you had to get and you had to go through, and I think you were by the sounds of it, if I remember right, you were a girl. I think, was it a girl or a guy?
I don't remember.
I've got a feeling it was I can't remember, but your character, I mean, you never really saw your character, but you had a torch which you could flash on and off, forward, back, left and right. You had to try and get the 8 pages, but it was just deadly silent as when you started the game. So the first time I played it, nobody really told me what it was about, and I hadn't even seen anybody on YouTube playing it yet because it blew up after.
This was before this was before like even things got picked up on YouTube and that as well. Like this was just like we heard this like through school or through
it was
like,
one of my
older kids.
one of
or
my
something.
friends for school that said, "Go and play this game." So Slender, and it started off just deadly silent in a forest. You're walking through. There was no music or anything, so it wasn't too bad to start. And it just said collect the 8 pages. But as soon as you clicked on that first page, the music, like the ominous sounds, the music would slowly start quite low, and the more pages you got, the music and the noises would build up, and it'd be like tense music, and it'd be getting louder and louder. By the time, I always remember it was the 4th page. As soon as you picked up that 4th page, that was time to run. That was the bit, because the guy's constantly, the Slender Man is constantly chasing you or watching you, and if he gets close, the screen starts to go like an old videotape a bit and like go wobbly and stuff.
It's like white noise.
So if you eventually learned if that was getting close to you, he was nearby you, but don't turn behind you because he was always behind you. So you have to keep running forward or make sure you're running away from him. But as soon as you hit that 4th page, it just ramped up to like 100% difficulty mode. It went just crazy for that point, and every page you got, he seemed to constantly switch where he was. It was like set up so he would always try and land in front of you. So you try to run away from him. So stuff like going through, there was like a wee bathroom gym hall thing, going through that and
fucking dodgy ass public
toilets thing in the middle, and you'd be going through that, right, I think there's a page sometimes in here, and then you turn the corner and he's right there and it's just white noise straight away and you're like and then you turn around and run the other way. But eventually you do start to remember there's a certain tree, a certain truck, a certain pipe, a certain building, part of the building where there could be pages, so it gets a bit easier. So I think eventually I did manage to get all 8. But and also the jump scares, when he gets too close to you, his face comes on the screen and takes up the full screen, and that the first few times is terrifying. Throw the headphones off, but you get used to it a bit. But sometimes when you're just running through a building, you turn a corner and he's right in your face, it's still, you just jump, you just get the fright of your life.
It was built. It was such a basic built game. Like probably just even it was probably just a couple of guys that did it and made it, but it was intense, man. It was, as you say, it's like as soon as you get halfway through it, once you get 4 out of the 8 pages, bam, it was like everything's hitting you at the one time. The noise in it was insane. It was just, this was like the first horror game that I ever played as well. You played some stuff before that, I think, but for me this was my first horror game. I can mind like being in a one of our friends' house. There was like maybe 8 of us, and all of us like having like turns each, trying to get as many pages as possible. And even though it's like 8 guys all sitting around this one computer, it was still fucking terrifying when it was your chance to go, man. So
that was just for, because I would, when was it, 2012 or something, so 8 years ago I would have been, I still was like 20 years old.
I don't know if I think 2012 one was another version that came out. I'm pretty sure that I was much younger than what I was when
I think I was at school, because I think I was maybe like, I'm sure I was only like 16, maybe 18 or something like that when I first did it. Right, so that was my scariest one, was just because I wasn't as young as I thought I was, but it was 8-9 years ago, and that was one of the first sort of horror games that got me into it, into the genre, and really liked that sort of feeling. Then we started looking for other stuff like it and other games like it. So what's your scariest, or one you forgot to say that you like the best? Or well, not the best, no, we're doing scariest first, so what are you saying is a really scary game?
Did we say all the scary ones, or did we just say Slender one? So on this list is Slender, as we have discussed, Alien Isolation from 2014, Visage from 2018, and Infliction from 2018. So the 3 games, as just said there, Alien, Visage, Infliction, are ones that I've streamed on my Twitch channel. So you've not played these at all?
I've seen bits of them.
I've seen bits.
either you or other Twitch streamers or YouTubers.
But for me, Visage, or Visage, never knew how to say the name, so I called it 5 different names when I was playing it. But Visage for me was so scary. Like, I wasn't expecting much for it. Like, people were saying it's like the PT game, because that's what it was kind of inspired by.
Right, I love PT.
PT was good. So that's what it was kind of based on. So I was like, oh, that'll be good to play. It'll be like wee jump scare, wee Hangsman. But when I actually got down to playing it, it was terrifying. Like, every moment is terrifying, and it's one of the games where it's got a wee sanity filter or a sanity meter on it.
Mm-hmm.
So the longer you're playing it, the more scary things that you see, the longer you're in the dark. It's like based on amnesia,
That was the first
like their
Insanity.
sort of insanity physics. It just gets more and more intense.
So what's the story behind it?
Well, let's watch the trailer now. So in the game there's 4 chapters. Only 2 of the chapters are released as of recording this. There's still 2 more to come out. So each chapter has a different story, but it's all in the same setting. So it's based in this house. One story is about a girl, I don't remember her name, and the other one is about an old lady and her husband, but it's the older lady that you'll see quite often.
Does a little old lady yodel?
Yodel? Like, yo. It's the yodel. Don't know what that was.
Does she yodel?
Is this a
Like-
joke?
The little old lady who... Sorry, right, the little old lady.
I don't even know what I was going to fucking say now. It's 2 chapters anyway.
Right.
There's 2 characters that'll kind of chase you around. But it's so good, man. It's so good. It's like you every so often when you go into a room there'll be like a mirror on the wall, and you get a hammer, like a sledgehammer, and you can smash them, and it will take you to another area of the house as well. But it's so huge because you're kind of just starting in this house and you travel around the house, but then it'll take you to weird places. Like in the trailer, you see like the staircases that are all different dimensions and stuff. It's crazy, and it's just it's one of the ones you just explore it. Every time you go into a room, maybe something will happen. You go out the door, go around the corner, you'll see like somebody standing there. You'll run back through the same room, and it'll be something's changed. It's one of the games you don't have to actually pick up anything. You just have to kind of keep walking around.
Keep going. I like those ones where it makes you go back and forth a few times, because it's like in a horror film where they set something up, you expect the payoff, but it doesn't happen quite yet, and then you go away and come back again, and then it happens, and it gets you. It's more effective that way. So that would be. It does seem quite good. Am I right in saying this is the one in your stream? You've got a clip when you're holding a candle. Is it that one? And then the candle goes out and somebody uses the sound alert thing and absolutely terrifies you. So I think you should show that clip, because that is hilarious.
Some clips of it now.
Definitely. I've seen that clip. I've not watched. I've not seen the full game or played the game myself, but I've seen that clip and it did look good. So it does look like a good game. If it's like PT, that's a similar thing where you go through and you have to go through the same corridor again and again, or back and forth, and different things will happen, or things will jump out at you. PT is the only game that I've threw my PlayStation controller across the room, because I got that much of a fright. I flung my PlayStation controller away and it hit off my wall. Nearly smashed a PlayStation controller because of PT. So if it is like that, then it is scary.
It's good because it's like you get like lighters as well, or you get light bulbs, but you have to put the light bulb in, turn the switch on, but then the electrics will go out, so you have to go to the fuse box, turn them on, and you lose gas in your lighter. And like you can have a candle and light it, but if you start moving, the candle goes out. So it's like there is parts where it's like you'll have no lighters, no light bulbs, no electricity. It's just you alone. Your insanity is going through the roof. You get chased. The lights will be flickering. All that stuff where you going. It's just intense. The worst thing is walking upstairs, man. Oh, fuck off. Fuck off. Oh, fuck off! Jesus, man. Oh, fuck. Fuck me.
I'll show you, you damned scoundrel, what bread you're worth.
Oh, fuck me! Oh, fuck, I wasn't even looking. Oh, fuck. There's so many secrets in it as well, if you're into that kind of stuff. I didn't find out about this till recently. Like, there's at certain points in the game you can go into certain rooms or walk in a certain direction, and you'll get different things. You'll be able to see different things. So like for me, I don't have a clip of it, but I might find one on YouTube and put it in here. It's like all the kitchen appliances start talking to each other. It's so silly, but it's funny as anything. Like there's no faces at them, but you know, like the oven door will open and close and it'll be talking, and then the microwave will be talking, the kettle and all
that. Did that happen to you when you played it?
It happened to me when I played it. I was like, what the fuck is going on here? It's so funny, man.
Someone's coming! Well, who the hell is that guy?
It's just the new resident. The crazy one.
Yeah, he's nuts. Always on drugs and alcohol. Don't mind him. He's probably out of it anyway.
Everyone who lives here is fucked up anyway. Fuck him. Let's move on. Did you see what the batshit crazy old bitch did yesterday?
Oh, I know. I've seen her.
Oh, shut up, you cancer-breathing microwave. No one wants to hear it from you or your toasted brain.
Hey! Watch it with the toasting remarks.
Anyway, I hear she's been walking around the house completely naked, like a fucking whore.
Are you kidding me? What the hell's wrong with this old hag?
Will you shut up? I'm trying to get some sleep here.
Oh, boo-hoo. Big guy needs his sleep. By the way, you guys have been repeating the same walking around naked semi-joke for months now. I have some real news for you guys.
Oh yeah? What's that, you twat? You're stuck with me. Don't you remember? I think if you'd had some news, I'd have heard it along with you.
Yeah, right. You're sleeping 16 hours a day. My sources whisper me some great stuff.
Your source is my ass. You're talking about that broom. You can't trust a broom, I tell ya.
Oh, quit your whining, big guy. Let us hear about the news.
And there's like one where the door will open and like the girl for one of the chapters is like dancing in the room.
I've seen that one.
And then the door will shut again. There's like so many cool different things that can happen.
Easter
So
eggs.
it's got a kind of bit of like replayability. You can play it there and there again. You'll get different secrets each time. And the chapters as well. Like you can do any chapter in any order. It's not like you start it and you have to complete this to go into this one.
Mm-hmm.
When you'll start the game and you'll fall into a different thing. Because I think I actually did the second one first. But it doesn't tell you what one do you want to do first. You just kind of
Pick one.
it just happens. So
Is that only on PC? No.
it's only on PC now. But I was looking at the stuff for the developers yesterday, and they were saying the PlayStation and Xbox are getting a release when the full game comes out, because this is one of these early access games, but it's been in early access since 2018. So
Alright.
but apparently the next two chapters are coming out soon, and the full release is coming out soon, so we'll
Nice.
see. They keep pushing it back, but it was so good. I'm not going to I don't mind that it's taking this long, because it took me quite a while to play through the chapters, so I'm going to say that it's going to take quite a while to play through the next two chapters when they come out. So
If I don't get to play it before, then I'll get it for the PlayStation and play it when it comes out on that.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, anything else you want to say about scariest?
Infliction was a good one. I'm not going to tell you too much about Infliction because you can't really spoil it. It's just another kind of walking around the house and you've got a camera instead of like a lighter. That's good. Check that game out. And Alien Isolation. That was good. That was more scary for me because I didn't realise until the very end of the game that you could get the alien to go away
Right.
by using a certain thing. I'm not going to say what it is because I don't want to waste it for anyone else, but you can do something that prevents the alien from sort of killing you. I didn't know that. I played the full game until the very last part of it and realised I could have done something a long time ago.
Made it easier.
And so for me it was just terrifying because I was always hiding from the alien. But that was a good game. That was maybe a good game rather than a good horror scary thing. Even if you're not into horror games, give this a try. But it is scary as fuck when the alien's after you.
The Alien Isolation is out. It's been out a while, so you should be able to get it a bit cheaper as well. I guess.
Yeah.
So, and then we've got a best category as well, but we've loved so many of these games that it's quite a big category, so I can read them out first and then we can talk about our favourite, and then if there's anything else that jumps out that we need to talk about, we can mention that as well. But we've put the ones we've got as our favourites, and I think there's only two of them I think that I've not played. Outlast, The Evil Within, Until Dawn, Layers of Fear, Resident Evil 7, The Dark Occult, The Dark Pictures Man of Medan, Resident Evil 2, and The Beast Inside. And the one that I would pick as my favourite for that category as my favourite horror game, but also just as a game in general, I really like it, is Until Dawn.
2015, man.
It's a while
That's
ago.
a while ago. I wasn't expecting it to be that long ago.
I know.
I think it's because I watched that game recently. I watched somebody's doing a playthrough, so for me it doesn't seem
I know.
well because I can remember everything for it.
Because I think it's the only horror game that I've platinumed, and you know I love my trophies.
Aye.
But Until Dawn I've platinumed that one, and I love most games that are story games, and especially if they've got choices that affect other things in the games. So I love those as well. So here's the trailer of Until Dawn if nobody's seen it before.
Imagine a night
This was the right thing to do.
where every decision
What the hell was that?
and every single action
I just saw someone at the cabin.
affects your fate
Very funny. Guys, come
and the
on.
fate of those around you.
Oh my God! What the hell was that? We need to go get help now.
Could you live with the consequences? Until dawn, only your choices determine who will survive.
So yeah, as you can see, it talks about choices, and it seems set up like a horror film. So it's just like playing a horror film. There's I think 6 or 8 maybe. I think it's maybe 8 sort of teenagers or like young adults in their like early 20s or whatever, and they go to stay in some uncles or some, I can't remember exactly, but it's like some family member of one of them. It's his country home or like home out in the wilderness, and it's all snowy. It's set like winter time.
It's in the fucking middle of nowhere.
In the middle of nowhere as well.
In the middle
yeah.
of winter. It's like, what the fuck, man? What the fuck?
It's just a classic setup, like a horror film. Like, oh, the 8 friends go away to stay in somebody's in the middle of nowhere mansion, flat, cottage thing, out like holiday home. And it starts off, it doesn't seem like there's much happening at the start, but slowly things start happening. The place seems like there's some spooky things going on, and eventually it starts to look more like it's somebody, like a Jason type person, like a Halloween or Freddy sort of
old school slasher.
Slasher who starts chasing them, trying to kill them, and depending on your choices, you can either save everybody or kill everybody, or have a mix in between of some that will survive and some will get killed. So it depends what you pick as well, which I really like. There's only the odd occasion, once or twice, where I feel like you get tricked a bit into picking one thing over another, and it results in somebody dying. But it doesn't happen too much, so it's pretty good in the way that you can play it however you feel, and you'll have maybe a different set of people alive at the end. So I think I've played it through like 3. I think I've had like 3 full plays.
Am I right in saying it's got the butterfly effect in it, or was that
butterfly effect in that as well? So that's
something right
thing.
At the start of the game can affect
something at the end.
Right at the fucking very end of the game.
I know, and it's like small butterflies come up on the screen when you've done something or made a choice that'll affect stuff later. Can affect the story in a little bit, or it can affect it quite a big bit. And I like how you find little totem pole things. There's little like statues, and if you turn them round, it gives you like a vision about it. The character has like a vision of something that might or might not happen in the future. But it's not. It's the butterfly effect thing. It might happen or it might not. But it lets you, if you look close enough, you might see a situation, and you might recognise an area. And then when that area comes up, you go, "Wait a minute, what was the vision? I need to try and prevent this from happening." Because one I can remember is like a lift, an elevator that starts falling, or is like something's about to fall, and it's like you either jump off or you save somebody, and there's like one of them, and it's like it gives you a hint about if you don't do this you won't save the person, so it kind of helps you that way. But you need to look for them. They're like hidden things you need to find, so it's just really good. It's like playing through a horror game. It's got Hayden Panettiere and Rami Malek.
It's all the characters are based on like real life actors and actresses.
So it's good, a good cast in it.
They do all the voice acting and everything for it, so it really is just like watching a horror film, but you're the director. You get to choose.
It's like a mishmash of all different horror films as well. There's Ouija boards. There's a Jason type killer person going about. There's supernatural elements. There's monsters in it. There's
air noise.
I know they. Well, spoiler alert, but
would you want to Say it or no?
We'll not say it just in case you go to play, but there's
right.
supernatural elements come into it, there's visions, there's horror, there's jump scares, there's loads of stuff. There's funny bits, there's comedy in it as well. Sometimes somebody scares you and then it's just somebody acting it. Like the bit at the start, one of the first things you do, you look at the country house you're going to and you're looking through a pair of binoculars, and then one of the characters jumps in front of your binoculars and got the fright of my life.
Right.
And that's just not even supposed to be a scary bit, it's just like a comedy.
Aye.
But no, I love Until Dawn, as well as the Dark Pictures anthology, which is led on for that. The company's now making another 8 games, they've said.
Yep.
Similar idea, you play a horror film and you make choices, and we've played as a group the was it 5-person movie mode of Man of Medan, the follow up to Until Dawn. We played it as a group and we picked a character each.
Yep.
And that was a good laugh because it was like a horror film, you had a character each.
It's really good how they've done it. Like, it's literally like the actual, I believe it's called couch mode, and so if you choose that to play in that mode, you only need one controller as well, and at the start it will show all the characters on the screen. It will tell you kind of what their traits are, or the relationships with the other characters and stuff, and then you literally just use say right, you're player 1, 2, 3, 4 and 5, and you pick it, and you maybe get to play for 10 minutes in a row. Maybe you only play it for a couple of minutes, but all the choices that you get is your own thing, so you can screw people over if you want, or you can try and save everybody. But it's fucking really good. Unfortunately, we can't even be playing it during this time because we've got a fucking global pandemic going on. But once this is all over and you're looking for something to play with your friends and get all your friends back together again, check out either Until Dawn and just take turns each, or play Man of Medan, where it actually gives you a character and tells you when to change player and stuff like that as well. It's really good.
So that's I love choices in a video game, so that's my pick. So what would you want to talk about out of that list? Of what's your best horror game experience?
For me, for my best one out of the list, there's just so many good ones in that list as well. Outlast was really good. Layers of Fear was really good. I watched Layers of Fear twice on YouTube before I actually played it, and then even when I played it, it was more scary playing it than it was watching it. When I watched it on YouTube, I wasn't that fussed, but when I played it, I actually really enjoyed it. But for me, the big hitter, which is this top, as you can see, what did it say? Is it backwards? Is it better? Can you see it?
Resident Evil 7.
Yes! Resident Evil 7 Biohazard. Fucking best Resident Evil game ever. My favourite horror game ever. This one hit me so hard. I played it 3 times. I played it myself, I played it with Ryan, I streamed it. I've got 2 saves going on at the same time. I've got an extreme chaos fucking mode, whatever it's called, nightmare mode. And then a normal mode.
Past the introduction.
But it's so good, man. It's it's different from all the other Resident Evil games, I believe.
It's more
for
story.
me, this was this didn't really feel like Resident Evil at all. This felt like a proper horror game on its own, but it had the wee side things for Resident Evil, like the herbs and the finding the ammo and stuff like that. But
it had nods to the past.
It had nods to the past and like that, because it's set after a lot of the things, or it's is it a different universe? I don't know. Let's go watch the trailer now, and maybe that'll help us a wee bit.
Be careful. They'll be looking for you.
Daddy's coming. We need to go. We need to go now.
What the fuck are they?
Shut up and listen if you want to stay alive. Ethan, you gotta get out of that house.
Now, I've seen everything. What the fuck? What is that?
What the fuck are you talking about? They're dead. They're all dead.
This house has seen more than you can imagine, and it knows.
No, leave me alone!
Wait!
Ethan, don't lose it. It's important.
This fucking family.
So you're the Resident Evil 7 championing Resident 7.
So I didn't Google this right now, but this is based on this was inspired by the 1960s, 1980s, I don't remember, the Evil Dead film, movie, and it was inspired by that to be like, go back to the survival horror kind of roots in Resident Evil, and it's also the first perspective game that they've done, because in all the past games it was always the kind of top down third person over the shoulder. You see that in the remakes as well. They did it for the Resident Evil 2, Resident Evil 3 remakes that came out recently. But this was the first one that they did, and they made it VR as well, which I still haven't played it in VR, and I don't think I could play it in VR.
I think it'd be good. I would want to play it in VR. I've played it's like a Resident Evil demo, I think, around about the time that 7 came out, and I've played just the demo, and even that, it was only like 10 minutes long or something. Most of it was fine, but then as soon as, I think it was a woman in the demo, as soon as she jumped at your face, you got nowhere to hide or look away or anything like that, so you have to take the VR headset off to get away from it. So I think it'd be 10 times worse, and it's scary as it is.
Aye, that's so scary, man. Like,
oh, you fucking bastard! Oh, fuck me.
Although I've played it like 3-4 times, I still jump at certain parts every time. It's really good, and I prefer the first person perspective point of view. I find that a lot scarier in games, because when you're in the third person you can run and look behind you. It's kind of like you know where everything is, whereas when you're in first you could be walking down a hallway, turn around and there's somebody right behind you, and it's so scary, man. But this one is quite deep as well, because you start off in the house and it's like a mad crazy fucking family, like they're like fucking meth heads,
It's a bit like the Hills Have Eyes vibes, like
crazy.
or Texas Chainsaw Massacre. They're all sitting around the table.
It's like Texas Chainsaw. It's like that kind of weird family.
Hillbilly family.
You find there's like a wee kind of twist later on near the end of it. I'm not going to say anything about that 'cause it's really good. There's the famous sort of thing like, "Welcome to the family, son."
Welcome to the family, son.
Aye, that's my favourite line where the dad catches you at one point and kicks
Right
you.
at that, he's fucking
Aye,
knocks you out, man.
decks you down a set of stairs and he's like, "Welcome to the family, son."
It's fucking brilliant, man. But it's just, it's so good, and it's you're always try to find like your wife, your girlfriend, and she kind of goes back and forth between being like like a normal person and then she's kind of like possessed. You have to fight her right at the start of the game, which is insane. It's so good, man. And it's like classic sort of like boss battles and the constant big
Some of
bad
them are
guy
ridiculous.
character. Some of them are
The boss battles are crazy.
some of them are nuts, man. I mind like when I was streaming this, one point I started up the stream and I was just about to start one of the boss battles, and so like there was nobody watching at the time. It was just me playing it, and I was terrified. I was screaming my lungs out, man. I was so fucking scared, and nobody was there, and I killed the fucking boss. And then that's when people started jumping into the stream, and I was like, I can't believe what yous are dismissed, man. I was so fucking terrified. There was nobody there to talk to. It was fucking brutal, man. But it's still good. Like I could play it again. I could go through the full thing again. The ending's kind of, it takes a total different dive. But saying that, I've did the same choice every time I've played it though, because there's a choice between you have to choose two people to do something with, and I've always chose the same person. So you might see other stuff. If you choose that, I might have to play it again just to do that different choice now. So
I don't know. There's only a slight choice at the end. It's not one of these ones where you make loads of choices, but it's good how it starts on like the mansion, like old school resi. You start in a couple of rooms and then it opens up and you find out it's more like a big mansion, and then you get used to the big mansion, and then the next thing you're out in the garden and the garden's quite big.
You get out the house, you think, yes, I'm finally out, it's over.
And that's just like part 2 starting.
It's like, right, you've got the house, you've got somewhere else to go.
Another big section. I know. But like you said, there's good puzzles. The one I remember was like, just when you see, there's like obviously the classic resi weird zombie or bad guys as well, but there's these like black, they look like tar
mold men.
They look like tar monster things. Those are terrifying. And there's a particular bit where you first meet them, and then it's like a Undertaker's mortuary. Is that what it's called? Where you've got the drawers that could have dead bodies in them and stuff, and there's a puzzle in there. I remember me and you playing it, and just instantly I was like, I knew how to do the puzzle, and you were like, how did you figure that out so quick? But I think I've just played that many puzzle or like story puzzle games that I'm just used to like puzzles and stuff. But that's why it's funny sometimes if you're playing it, because I can click on and figure it out first, and then I'll be like, how long is this going to take him?
Sometimes I struggle with puzzles a wee bit to start with. So it depends if I'm on the ball or not, man. Some days I'm like, that's fucking simple, and then times it just takes me ages to work out what I'm doing. But there's got so many different puzzles. It's kind of open as well, although that you are getting to one point. There is like multiple ways to get to that point, so you're not kind of, if you get stuck at one bit, it's like, right, okay, you can kind of leave that for a bit and try a different route. But you have different keys for different doors and all that kind of stuff. You can pick up different weapons. You don't have to pick up every weapon as well.
You can just
like
take
I found different weapons on different runs as well. So
you just take whatever you need.
But it's different for other, like if you've played like recently, Resident Evil 2 and 3 came out the past 2 years. If you've played them and you enjoyed them, you will enjoy this as well. But just know that it is kind of completely different. It's a different setting. It's not your classic zombies running around. It's a whole different kind of universe that you're in.
The mould men are they're more like weird monsters than zombies, aren't they?
Aye.
Yeah, because they just come wobbling round the corner and you're like, ah.
You have a chainsaw battle, which is always fucking fantastic. I don't know how many times I've mentioned Nicolas Cage in the film Mandy. He has a fucking chainsaw fight with a dude, and you do the exact same thing in this game, which is kind of like a wee... Well, I don't know what came first, this game or the film, but the bad guy's got a really big chainsaw and you've got a wee chainsaw. In the film Mandy, Nick Cage's got a wee chainsaw, the bad guy's got a big chainsaw, so it's kind of... That was kind of good. Aye, and it's like the big guy as well, man. You kill him, and you think that's it, and then he comes back, and it's one of the ones that he's always chasing you. It's the same with the Resident Evil 3. You kill Nemesis. Aye, fucking Genesis. What's that? That's fucking
Phil Collins.
Phil Collins, man.
Phil Collins comes back again and again.
But you kill him and he keeps coming back, man. So it's got the same elements in it as well. But that's probably been my favourite one to play. It was one of the first ones I played as well. First proper horror games that we played together, I should say.
And Resident Evil 8, The Village, is coming out for PS5 and PC and stuff. So it's supposed to be a follow-on from Resident Evil 7. It'll be Ethan Winter's the guy for that. It's a follow-on. It'll have the same character in it. So hopefully it's... I think it is first person and stuff again. Hopefully it's just a big follow-on for that. Same idea, just in a different place. And it's just more of the same. It'll be great. I can't wait for that. That'll be amazing.
I'm so looking forward to that. I'm glad that they're bringing it the same. It's for the same characters and the same kind of setting and that. Because I'm not fussed about the old school Resident Evil style. I was looking at my Steam account actually to see the amount of hours that I put in each one, and it's like Resident 7 one is I've got loads of hours in that. Resident Evil 2 was 6 hours or something. Resident 3 was less than 10, and I've completed them. So it's I literally completed them in 1 or 2 days.
So it's much bigger.
Whereas Resident Evil 7 took me a long time to play through.
Resident Evil 4 was really good because we played that at the exact same time, even though it says 2005 is when it was out. We got Resident Evil 4 after we got into Resident Evil 7, and we played 4 maybe only about 2 years ago. 2 years ago. I had it on the Nintendo Switch and you played it on the PC, and we played it just at the exact same time, just sitting in here. Just I played it on the Switch, you played it on PC, and we would only go to a certain chapter or save it at the same point every time. It was really good because we both got to experience it at the same time.
It's good because if you missed anything, we'd be like, did you get this item that's running in this corridor or something? And there's times where I was just like, nah, I'm not fucking playing this right now, so I can just sit back and then watch Ryan playing it on the Switch or whatever. So that was good. It was difficult to play that one because it's old. I don't know what it was like for you on the Switch, but for PC you can't aim and move at the same time. You had to walk, stop walking, aim your gun, shoot it, and then move again.
It was the same on the Switch, and that's one thing people say about Resident Evil 4 is because I've remade 2 and 3, when the remake 4, they need to change the system because they stop them to look and aim. It doesn't work in modern gaming, so
it was built for PlayStation 2, I think.
GameCube as well. I think it was at GameCube first.
Aye.
And then it went to
PS2.
PS2.
At the time you didn't have analogues to look and move. You only had a D-pad and then your action button. So, fair enough. It's been designed that way for a reason. But if they remake it, they have to
update the aiming system.
But it was good.
Yeah. So, and if I didn't pick Until Dawn as my... So, were you going to say something about Resident Evil 7?
I was going to say, in Resident Evil 4, there's a wee guy in it that's not been in any of the other ones. He's like a vendor, and you can buy stuff off him. and in the Resident Evil 8 trailer,
He was
right
in
at
it.
the end there, you see a guy and he was like, oh, so what you after, sort of thing. And it's like, oh shit, there's going to be a wee character you can buy stuff
A wee
off in this one.
shop seller.
So that's a kind of throwback
Yeah.
to the old games.
So if I didn't pick Until Dawn as my favourite, I would have picked Resident Evil 7. So we're pretty much in agreement there that Resident Evil 7's definitely up there as one of our favourite anyway. So it's really, really good. And we'll be looking forward to Resident Evil 8 and hopefully play that together, or we'll both play it at the same time anyway.
We'll play it together and I'll probably stream it as well.
Mm-hmm.
I'll have to stream it because it's like one of my fucking favourite things ever, not I mean, so I think like Evil Within, the Evil Within, we played them together. First one, good. Second one wasn't as good. Same with Outlast. First one, fantastic. Fucking loved Outlast 1. Outlast 2, I can't get into it. I've tried to stream it again like a couple of weeks ago. It's so shite, man. It's just shit.
It's too long and it's all mostly outside, and it doesn't really work the same as when you're inside the sort of mental hospital setting.
And the mental thing, you like go past the character and you're like, oh, is it going to jump at me? Is it going to chase me? Or is it just crazy and he's just going to bang his head off the wall? Whereas in this one, everything chases you. As soon as you get close, it'll chase you. They don't stop chasing you. You're just constantly trying to run, and it's just shit.
Too
man.
much. Less is more, and that's what I say.
So a lot of games, man. Layers of Fear 1, fantastic. Layers of Fear 2 wasn't so good. So a lot of games have been falling short with their certain things.
Sequels.
They're trying too hard, or they're trying to make it different. Like, just keep it the same. If something's worked really well and it's been really popular, keep it. It's what it was, you know what I mean? Outlast is getting a new fucking thing altogether. It's like Dead by Daylight.
Oh, is
where it's like a co-op sort of running around the map, you're getting chased by a monster or a bad guy. So that was it for the horror video games episode. I'm sure there's going to be more episodes in the future discussing horror games, but before we just give you a wee insight into some of the worst, best and scariest games that we've played so far. And we've got the PlayStation and the Xbox coming out soon, the new generation, so there's going to be so much more stuff, new VR capabilities and all that as well, and I think my next PC I'll be getting VR with it as well.
Nice.
And try that out, so it's going to be terrifying. I'm so terrified of VR games. We could have maybe talked about VR a little bit more and that, but
you could always do a VR episode once you actually try it.
Because I'm so bad at VR games, I just can't play them at all. So we'll keep that for a future episode. Bye. Thanks again, Ryan, for stopping by.
Well, it's good. A good laugh, a good wee chat about horror games. I've loved them for quite a few years now, and it's always good when the two of us get to experience it together as well, which is good. It's just funnier when there's somebody there and either you get a fright and they laugh at you, or they get a fright at something and you get to have a chuckle at them, so it's a different experience. And then so some of the ones we said we'd played it by ourselves, and a lot of them we played together, which is always good fun.
So I've started up a YouTube channel as well, just to kind of put these episodes in, because they only stay up on Twitch for about 2 weeks. So I'm going to be rendering these and uploading them to the channel soon, so there will be some links to the channel. Go subscribe to that. It's free, of course, on YouTube. So if you missed any of the episodes in the past, or you maybe want to wait a while and just watch a bunch of them in a row, you can check them out there. It's just the Wee Bit Feart Podcast on YouTube. Bye. Thanks for watching. Thanks for coming along, Ryan.
No bother.
I'm sure we'll see you again in the very near future for some more episodes.
Yep.
That's it for the Wee Bit Feart Podcast. Peace.
See ya.